Young and the Restless, spoilers. Full Tuesday. Update the 25th of August, 2026. Welcome back to our channel, besties. A beautiful day, but I am literally unwell, and we need to talk right this exact second because my brain is actively short-circuiting. You guys, I am deceased. Stop what you are doing. I am literally shaking. Wait, we need to talk about this now. I am physically vibrating from the sheer audacity of what just went down in Genoa City. And if I don't get this out of my system, I am genuinely going to combust. I was mid-skincare and smeared charcoal mask all over the rug when this episode aired, and I literally had to yeet my phone across the room because the emotional damage is just too much to process. We are not just watching this show anymore, we are invested. And I am personally offended by the absolute cinematic mayhem these people are putting us through. Send help. My soul has actually left my body. Wait, backtrack for a second. I missed a step. Let us start with the absolute mess that is happening over at Jabbo. Basically, Nikki Newman decides to just waltz into Jack Abbott's office, and the tension is so thick you could cut it with a chainsaw. Jack, who is honestly trying to be the mature one for once in his life, looks at Nikki and is straight up like, hey, since you just made up with Victor and you two are playing happy families again, maybe you should stay away from me so your marriage can actually have some peace. He is genuinely trying to give her space, which is honestly so unhinged for Jack because usually he is right in the middle of the drama. He is basically offering to end their friendship for the sake of her sanity. And I am sitting here screaming at the screen like, Jack, bestie, be for real right now. You know, she is not going to accept that. And of course, Nikki is having absolutely none of it. She looks at him like he just grew a second head and asks if he seriously thinks they should just end their friendship. Jack tries to backtrack and says no, he is just trying to give her space. But Nikki is straight up refusing to let him go. She tells him she does not want space. She says he has always supported her. And now she wants him to help her save Nick. I am literally hyperventilating right now because the codependency between these two is astronomical. Nikki is clinging to Jack because she knows Victor's brand of tough love is not going to work on Nick's addiction, and she needs Jack's empathy. But dragging Jack into a Newman family crisis, manifesting a total dumpster fire by the next update, because we all know Victor is going to lose his absolute mind. Wait, I'm glitching. Okay, back to the main event. Jack tells Nikki that he will do everything he can to help Nick, but he makes a very valid point. It has to be Nick's decision to get clean. You cannot force someone into recovery if they are not ready, and Jack knows this better than anyone. He also drops the very obvious truth bomb that Victor is going to absolutely hate this. And don't even get me started on the vibes in that office, because the lighting was giving major interrogation room energy, and it just made the whole scene feel so claustrophobic and intense. Right in the middle of this intense heart-to-heart, Nikki's phone rings, and it is Nick. He is calling from the rehab clinic, asking if she can come visit him. Nikki, being the fiercely protective mother she is, immediately says she will be right there. She drops everything to go to her son, and you can just see the sheer desperation in her eyes. It is genuinely heartbreaking, but also I am so stressed about what Jack is about to do next, because Jack, in all his infinite wisdom and absolute lack of self-preservation instincts, decides to leave Jabbo and go straight to the Newman Ranch. Did I say that yet? My brain is mush. Moving on, Jack literally walks into the lion's den. He shows up at the ranch and confronts Victor Newman. I am clutching my chest because the stakes are astronomical right now. Jack looks Victor dead in the eye and tells him that Nikki wants him, Jack Abbott, to act as Nick's sponsor. I gasped so loud my neighbors probably heard me. The sheer audacity of Jack walking into Victor's house and offering to sponsor Victor's son, I am deceased. Victor's reaction is exactly the high-octane, psychological masterpiece of rage you would expect. He does not just say no. He goes absolutely nuclear. Victor looks at Jack with so much disgust I thought the television screen was going to crack. He tells Jack that it is a terrible idea, and then he goes for the jugular. Victor brings up Jack's dark past, reminding him that it was Jack's weakness, his drug-fueled night of debauchery, that almost killed Nikki back in the day. Victor straight up says, "I will never forget or forgive you for that." The absolute venom in his voice. He is dragging Jack like he is his most problematic friend. And honestly, Jack is officially on Victor's do not perceive list. I am so done with these two and their decades-long measuring contest, but also I am totally living for the drama. Jack tries to defend himself, saying he understands the pain Nick is going through and he just wants to help, but Victor is having none of it. He literally orders Jack to leave. He kicks him out of the house, and the tension is so thick I could hardly breathe. Oh, hold on. I should have mentioned this earlier, but let us veer off into a completely random tangent for a second. Did anyone else notice the weird background noise during that scene at the ranch? It sounded like a grandfather clock ticking aggressively loud, and it just added this insane layer of impending doom to the whole conversation. The aesthetic choices on this show are sometimes so random, but they work so well. Anyway, snapping back to the main tee, while all this explosive drama is happening at the ranch, we cut over to the rehab center with Nick, and let me tell you, the vibes here are completely different, but just as emotionally devastating. Nick is sitting there, and guess who he runs into? Marie Kirkland. Yes, the same Marie from the dingy motel where they were both spiraling and doing drugs together. Legit, I cannot even handle the emotional whiplash of seeing them in this sterile rehab environment after the absolute mess they were in before. Marie walks up to him, and she looks so vulnerable. She admits to Nick that she went back home, and it was a complete disaster. Her husband started screaming at her, berating her, and to make matters worse, she found out she lost her job. The universe was basically kicking her while she was down, and in that moment of pure desperation and pain, she turned back to the pills. She tells Nick that she took one pill, just one. Genuinely, my heart stopped for a second because I thought she was going to say she went on a massive bender. But then she says the most beautiful, heartbreaking thing. She tells Nick that right after she took that one pill, she remembered something he had said during one of their meetings. His words echoed in her head, and it gave her the strength to stop. She stopped at just one pill, which is honestly so unhinged in the best way possible because the willpower that takes is astronomical. Because of Nick's words, Marie decided to save herself. She tells him that she voluntarily checked herself into the rehab center. Nick asks, so you're here voluntarily? And she says yes. She admits that she had been thinking about him a lot after everything that happened the other night at the motel. Nick looks at her, and you can see the empathy just radiating off him. He says he has been thinking about her too. Marie, carrying so much guilt, apologizes for leaving the drugs in his room that night, basically blaming herself for triggering his relapse. But Nick, being the absolute king of grace in this moment, stops her. He tells her that he does not hold her responsible for any of that. he takes accountability for his own actions, which is such a huge step in recovery. He tells her, "You are choosing to be here to recover," and the way they look at each other, acknowledging their shared trauma and their mutual decision to heal, is just, I am literally tearing up just talking about it. The trauma bond is so real, and I am genuinely rooting for both of them to make it out of this dark place. Wait, backtrack for a second. I missed a step. Did I say that yet? My brain is mush. Moving on, we need to talk about what is happening over at Crimson Lights, because the corporate tea is boiling over and it is scalding hot. So Holden Novak is at the coffee house with his mom, Dr. Stephanie Simmons. And don't even get me started on the vibes at Crimson Lights today. The lighting was so weirdly bright. It felt like they were in an interrogation room rather than a cozy cafe. But whatever. Random aesthetic choice. Moving on. Holden drops an absolute bomb on his mother. He tells Stephanie that he has been offered a massive opportunity for a promotion within Chancellor Industries. Now, you would think this is great news, right? A nice little step up the corporate ladder for our boy Holden. But no, this is Genoa City, and nothing is ever simple. Holden reveals that the offer did not come from Lily Winters. It did not come from Kane Ashby. The offer came directly from Billy Abbott. I gasped. I literally gasped so hard I choked on my iced coffee. Billy Abbott is basically running around playing corporate god right now, and he is using Holden as a pawn in his massive, chaotic, evil chess game. Holden tells his mom that he feels completely trapped. He is stuck right in the middle of a vicious power struggle for control of the Chancellor Empire. Billy is bypassing Lily and Kane, the people who actually built and bled for that company, and is trying to buy Holden's loyalty with a shiny new promotion. I am personally offended by Billy's audacity. He is so obsessed with claiming Chancellor for the Abbotts that he does not care who he destroys or manipulates in the process. I'm calling it the villain arc is about to go nuclear. Billy is alienating everyone. He is making aggressive moves without any regard for the collateral damage, and he is dragging innocent people like Holden into his mess. Holden is just trying to figure out his life and his complicated new family dynamics with Malcolm and the Winters clan, and now he has Billy dangling a promotion over his head, forcing him to choose sides in a corporate war he never asked for. It is straight up manipulative, and I am so done with Billy's arrogance. He thinks he is the smartest guy in the room, but he is painting a massive target on his own back. Lily and Kane are not just going to roll over and let him steal the company, and Victor Newman is already waiting in the wings to destroy him, manifesting a total dumpster fire by the next update, because Billy is about to get burned, and I am bringing the marshmallow. Honestly, besties, I cannot even process all of this right now. Between Nikki and Jack's toxic codependency, Victor's absolute nuclear rage, Nick and Marie finding redemption in rehab, and Billy Abbott orchestrating a corporate hostile takeover while using Holden as bait, my brain is fully fried. I am physically exhausted from caring this much about these people. They are all so messy, so unfiltered, and so beautifully chaotic. I need to go lie down and stare at the ceiling for at least 3 hours to recover from this episode. Let me know in the comments if you are also spiraling, because I genuinely need a support group at this point. Stay messy, stay invested, and I will see you in the next one, assuming my soul returns to my body by then.